My name is Tomasz Ćwik. I'm co-founder of quantum startup finQbit. And I would say that everything started with a dream. Like Luther King said, I had a dream, but dream is not enough. That's why I like a quote of Eleanor Roosevelt, who said that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I'm afraid that slides are not working. Okay. And usually everything starts with a dream. We have a dream, we have a vision, but also sometimes we have a need which we try to address, or as most of the cases from Nobel Prize, we are simply curious how some things works. But the prime example of those is ChatGPT, which you know already, and which is the topic at almost every conference. But in fact, I remember 3 years ago when I met with my colleagues, software developers, at a tech conference, sharing the news from Microsoft, who said that they are using GPT-3 to code with natural language processing. The conclusion of the discussion was that it's distant future, at least a decade in front of us. You know how it works today. But in fact, OpenAI was founded in 2015. So it's almost a decade ago, because the founders had a dream and strong belief that they make it happen. That's why I love the quote of Google executive who said that it looks like nothing is happening, and then wow, we are in a different world. And usually we think it's about ChatGPT, which surprised us, but in fact, it's about quantum computing, which is not so distant technology. First quantum computers already exist. The newest form of quantum computers, you could easily miss walking through your data center. And the impact of quantum computing is real. Two years ago, President Biden signed the act which pushed all the national agencies to adopt post-quantum cryptography because the investments are increasing. Last year, we invested in quantum computing almost $40 billion. And what I can say, every of you today can try quantum computers through all of the major clouds. Even today in Poland, we have first quantum computers and very dynamic ecosystem around quantum technology cluster. But how it works, why it's so intriguing, you might remember the guy with an apple from the high school. It's Sir Isaac Newton. And he is the father of classical law of physics, which underpins everything we use today, like classical computers based on 0 and 1s. But if we go deeper to the molecule level, everything works differently. Everything is probabilistic, so we don't know anything for sure. So Newton's law doesn't work there. And that's why Niels Bohr said that if quantum mechanics hasn't profoundly shocked you, it means that you don't understand them. And it's so intriguing. Every quantum phenomena like quantum superposition or quantum entanglement or interference are really intriguing, so much that they shocked even Albert Einstein, who couldn't accept till end of his life how quantum entangled works. Why? Because space and time is not limiting quantum entanglement. And that's the reason why your software at GitHub or any other repository will not work on quantum computers. And I have another bad news. Copilot will not help you as well. Because this is so powerful technology which scales exponentially, and to illustrate that, I don't know if you know the story of the inventor of the chessboard, Ben-Daher, who was offered by one of the kings to buy the chessboard. And he said that he don't need the gold, he just wants a grain. But there is one rule. The king should put, and he should double the number of grains at every next chess field. Which means that if we would pay that price, we would need 8 times more grains than we collect every year on the planet Earth. So this is super powerful, and this is key difference. Moore's law doesn't work in a quantum world. We can double that power with every next qubit. To illustrate that, if we would simulate on the classical computers, quantum computer with almost 100 qubits, we would need more bits than we have atoms on planet Earth. That's why we talk about quantum supremacy at some point of time, because this is the moment when we will be able to solve problems which are not accessible on classical computers. This is the roadmap from IBM, which last year published the newest quantum processor with more than 1,000 qubits. This is how that technology and the power of quantum computers is evolving. This is logarithmic scale, which means that the power of quantum computers is really exponential from year to year. The key difference is, and the key power is, that classical computers wasn't designed to solve problems like combinatoric problems. But they are very good with arithmetic operations. But this is the place where quantum computers comes in, because they are perfect with solving combinatorial problems, optimization, or simulation. That's why with quantum computers, we will be able to accelerate calculations like Monte Carlo simulation, or putting AI on the next level with quantum machine learning and quantum AI. Why it's important? You might know that from 2020, we are doubling the demand for computing power because of LLM trainings. But you don't know probably that big tech data centers increased the carbon footprint by 50% over last years. Why? Because we have huge demand for the computing power and energy. To illustrate that, the top supercomputer Frontier runs on 8 megawatts of energy when it's idle, so doing nothing. Quantum computer from Google runs on 26 kilowatts of energy when we do the calculations. So it's 3 orders of magnitude less. That's why quantum computing is a strategic technology for almost every G20 countries. But the situation is not perfect. We are like in early 60s with classical computers. So we use low-level language like assembler. We have limited number of qubits, and the qubits are very, very noisy, so we have to deal with errors. But you probably don't know what it is. This is the computer which is weaker than any electronic device you have around you. But with such weak computer from Apollo mission, we could put the man on the moon. And it would be never possible without women. This is Katherine Johnson, the NASA mathematician, who led us to send Neil Armstrong to the moon because of her great mind. But the bad news is that while women make up almost half of the workforce today, only 25% of IT roles is filled by women. And I usually hear that, Tomek, it's really hard, it's the industry dominated by men, but then I say that Marie Curie had even harder life, so her situation was even harder, but she was brave and she succeeded. And that's why we have to build diverse teams, because according to the Stanford report, for instance, having more diverse teams, we can achieve above average results. And you don't need a lot to start with quantum computers, because you don't need quantum computer at all. You can start with the simple laptop you probably have. What's more, you might be afraid that Gen AI and ChatGPT might replace you and automate your job. But in fact, if you will start with quantum computers, you can secure your position, because Gen AI is not able to generate useful software. Why? Because we don't have enough data to train such models. And I really advise you to start. There is a great portal from IBM, IBM Quantum Learning. And if you would like to move to the next level, you can contact us at finQbit as well, because we need the dreamers. We need the dreamers like Richard Feynman. We need the dreamers like Albert Einstein or Bohr. We have also still alive examples like Peter Shor, the author of the algorithm which can break RSA, or Charles Bennett, the father of quantum information. We have also example from Poland. This is Professor Arthur Eckert, who is the father of quantum cryptography. But we have also other dreamers which you know, like Elon Musk or Sam Altman. Without them, we would never have ChatGPT, which you use every day probably. And there is still place for you, because as you see, we have a lot of men, but we need women to have better results. And my dream is not to have next Mr. Einstein. My dream is to have next Miss Einstein or Miss Marie Curie Skłodowska, who will have a dream. So that's why I wish you to have a dream, to have a strong belief in your dreams, and brave to make them reality. Thank you.